Time is 6:32. I call this regular board meeting of the Weslaco Independent School District to order. Today is July the 6th, 2017. Let the record reflect, we have a full quorum with the exception of Dr. Rodriguez and Adrian Gonzalez.
Andrew Gonzalez.
Andrew Gonzalez, sorry.
Adrian, get over here.
Hey, Adrian. Okay, that's item number one. Number two, establishment recording. Number three, opening prayer, Dr. Canales.
Okay. For our opening prayer this evening, we have our athletic director, Oscar Riojas, who will lead us in the invocation.
Let's bow our heads. Dear Lord and Father, thank you that you promise us that where two or three are gathered, you are there in our midst. Lord, we welcome you amongst us today and celebrate the gift of life that you have lavished upon each of us. We ask that you would open our ears so that we may hear your voice, open our minds so that we may receive your eternal wisdom, open our spirits so that we may know your leading and guidance, and open our hearts so that we may receive your wonderful love. Father, we pray this evening for Noe Hernandez and his family and others in his circle of family and friends who are grieving. I ask you to help them through their loss. I reach out to you, Father of compassion and the source of every comfort, asking you to touch them with your unfailing love and kindness. Be their God who comforts them as they're going through their struggles and bring them through the tough things ahead. Come alongside them in their pain and strengthen them so they'll one day be able to help others who face the same struggles. At this time, I ask for everyone in the room to join me in a moment of silence. Heavenly Father, we ask for all of these things in your holy and precious name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Coach Rojas. Item number 4, Pledge of Allegiance, Texas Pledge. Dr. Canales.
Coach Riojas will be leading us in the pledges as well.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Let the record reflect that at 6:35, Andrew Gonzalez and Dr. Rodriguez both joined the meeting. Item number 5, awards and recognitions. Dr. Canales.
Board of Trustees, tonight we recognize our Weslaco High School BPA students who attended national competition, and here to honor them and leading us in that honor is Carlos Robledo.
Yes, tonight we would like to recognize two individual students. If they can please stand up. They're sitting up here up front, and also their sponsor. How about a big hand? We have Jennifer Cavazos and Enrique Ornelas Jr., and also their sponsor, Alicia Gines. Jennifer competed in advanced spreadsheet applications and administrative support team, which is BPA, American National Leadership Conference in Orlando, Florida. How big a fan for her? And if her parents are here, can they please stand and be recognized? Also tonight, we have Enrique Ornelas Jr., who also competed at BPA, American National Leadership Conference. And Enrique competed in computer programming and information technology concepts, placing 9th in Java programming at the national level. And can his parents please stand and be recognized? We would also like to recognize the BPA sponsor, Alicia Gines.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We're going on to item number 6. We have public comments, and nobody has signed up for that. So we'll move on to item number 7. Superintendent's report, Dr. Canales.
Board of Trustees, tonight we have 3 reports. The first is insurance, the second is our STAR preliminary assessment data, and the third is Weslaco ISD scholarships. So leading off will be Mr. De La Rosa.
Good evening, Mr. President, Dr. Canales, members of the board. This is the standard insurance slide that we present for the self-funded health insurance plan. Claims incurred from September 1, 2006 to June 30, 2017 this year, $9,586,268.71 versus last year $8,775,783.11. That's an increase of $810,485.60. As you can see, that's a major source of the increase. Prescription drugs, $2,850,271.94 versus last year, $2,791,147.09. That's a difference of exactly $59,124.85. So just about a 2% increase, and that's very in line with trend. Fixed cost, again, $2,326,580.34 versus this time last year at $2,305,181.47. That's an increase of $21,389.87. Year-to-date total, $14,763,120.99. That's an increase over last year of $891,032. So as you can, we just had. So obviously, we are spending a lot more on claims, but of course, we had addressed that during the workshop.
Is there a particular type of claim that's causing the increase?
We, the majority of the high dollar claims that we have, which is a cancer diagnosis and a lot of disease of the circulatory system, and of course, you have your strokes, heart attacks included with that. So unfortunately, we have seen a very high percentage of those cases.
Okay.
Mike, what makes up the fixed costs?
That is the fees we pay to Freight's benefit administrators to administer our plan. That includes our stop-loss premiums. Of course, we have an individual and aggregate stop-loss. That includes also the fees that we pay to IMS to access their network.
Well, that's stayed constant,
Yes.
very consistent.
Yes, sir. The next slide is the standard workers' compensation slide. Of course, as Andres mentioned, that we budgeted $500,000 for this year. This year, we've had a total of 99 claims. This is through, of course, June of 2017 versus last year at the same time of 92. Total medical claims, prescription drugs, administration, indemnity, everything all rolled to one incurred through June. 335,637 versus last year of 344,951. Total paid actual checks cut in the month of June, inclusive of all the years that we've been self-funded on workers' comp, $29,373 versus last year of $42,071. Right now, we have approximately $236,000 in reserves. And those are my 2 slides, if anybody has any questions. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Our next presentation is on STAR preliminary, and leading that presentation is our Executive Director of Curriculum and Instruction, Ms. Janie Pena.
Good evening, Mr. President, Dr. Canales, members of the board. Now we get to the exciting part of showing you all these scores, and I think we've done such a wonderful job this year. What I'd like to call your attention to is the format of the slides. We have a lot of slides that I'm going to be rushing through, so I'd like for you to become familiar with the format. First column is the campus. Down in the bottom, in the lilac area, we have Weslaco ISD, the region, and the state. The next 2 columns is a comparison between years 2016 and 2017 for approaches, formally satisfactory. So these are all the students that passed. The next 2 columns under meets, again, is a comparison between 2016 and 2017. Meets is, or used to be, college readiness. Masters, which is advanced, the last 2 columns compares years 2016 and 2017. What I'd like for you to take a look at each of these slides is what is in the green, because that represents the growth. the growth that Weslaco ISD has made, not only in the number of students passing, the increase, but also for meets and masters. If you look down at Weslaco ISD showed growth, improvement in all three performance levels. The next slide, okay. The next, I'm sorry, let me go back and let you know, what you were looking at was third grade math. Okay, it was third grade math. So we see a lot of improvement there. The next slide is fourth grade math, and you notice all the green, a lot of growth, a lot of good things. Weslaco, as a district, had a lot of growth as well, from approaches to meets and masters. Under math, fifth grade, the district stayed the same under approaches. There was growth under meets and masters, and all of the campuses, well, most of the campuses showed growth or stayed the same. For reading, third grade, the district had some growth under approaches as well as the other two performance levels, and several of the campuses showed quite an improvement as well. Reading, fourth grade, there was improvement under meets and masters. That is the growth that we show. Under meets and masters is where we see students, the more we have there, the better, because that shows that students are performing at a higher level than just regular passing. And so we see that under meets and approaches, we had quite a few campuses show growth. Under reading, fifth grade, the district showed growth in all three performance levels. Writing, fourth grade, we show that this is an area of need for us, although there was some growth for several of the campuses in approaches, meets, and masters. We know that this is an area of need. But if you will look also under the region, there was there weren't gains made. There was a little bit of loss as well. So we think this is probably a statewide issue. We'll know once the state scores come out. Okay, keep in mind these are preliminary scores. These are not the official scores yet. Under fifth grade science, a lot of growth in that area. Weslaco as a district showed a lot of growth, as well as scoring higher than the region under approaches. For sixth grade math, we show that each of the campuses had growth as well as the district. Seventh grade math, each of the middle schools showed a lot of improvement in all three levels of performance, including the district showed more growth or a better score than Region 1. Math, eighth grade, there was a lot of growth there. Weslaco scored higher than the region and the state under approaches. Sixth grade reading, we know this is an area of need. However, if you will look down at the region, they also scored barely 1 point higher than we did as a district. So this is, again, I think, a statewide issue, which we are working on. This is not something we're going to let go. Reading, seventh grade, there was some growth in approaches and masters for the district, and for all of the 4 middle schools, there was growth under approaches. Reading, eighth grade, another area that I think that we need to work on. As the scores show, they were okay, but there's some more growth that needs to be happening in that area. Seventh grade writing shows a lot of performance gains under approaches and meets and masters as well. The district did show some growth under approaches and masters. Eighth grade science, you'll notice that there was growth as well for the district, scored a little bit higher than Region 1. Social studies, eighth grade, there was growth, as you can see by all the areas highlighted in green. The district had growth in all 3 performance levels. This information you've already seen. This is the high school and middle school scores, the end of course. This is Algebra 1, English 1, and Biology. These scores had already come out and had been presented to you last month. However, we wanted to remind you that there is growth there at the high school level and middle school levels as well. These are the other two end-of-course exams, English 2 and U.S. History. U.S. History, we know that we need some work there, and we do have some initiatives in place for next year that we're going to be working on. Now, the students did take a test in June. They retested, so these scores should come up some as well. We should have some improvement there. Just to remind you, these are preliminary scores. These are the scores that we figured out through our program, AWARE. August 7th, they'll be releasing the index tables. No rating as of August 7th. This report shows how each campus and the district scored through, from indices 1 through 4. The ratings will be released to us August 14th. The public will get them August 15th. And then you will be given a presentation of all the final scores on 9/11 at the regular board meeting. Any questions?
I do have a question. This is the first time as a board member I'm seeing star percentages. And my question is, I noticed that the percentages don't add up to 100. Sometimes they exceed that. Could
Okay,
you,
tell
I
me
think for
how
Dr. Rodriguez.
your line you're looking at.
Oh, just
Which
like,
slide?
for
Any slide?
example, you'd have, like, for example, in Central Middle School, I guess, writing, 7th grade, you'll have a 71% approaches, 39% meets, and that already exceeds 100%.
Okay, if you look at the 79%, the 79% is all students who pass the test.
Okay.
The 39%, it's the 39% of that 79%
79.
that meets.
Correct.
That is
Okay.
college ready.
That's
or
what I
it's college
suspected,
readiness.
but I wanted to confirm it
Yeah.
before I.
That's why they don't add up. It's the percentage of the kids that passed.
So overall, we would say 71% of the students passed the. exam.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. That includes everybody, all special pops, everybody.
Okay.
Any questions? Thank you very much.
Good job.
A lot of green.
A lot of green.
Good job.
We're in the green, sir.
I know.
Green. We're
Very
going to
good
be in the
job.
gold.
Yes.
I don't, Ms. Penny, I don't know if you need to stay there. I'm going to do the next
so
part,
I can-
so I don't know if you flip forward from there.
I don't know why it's,
Okay.
Carlos?
The next is a community scholarship review.
I have it on here.
You have it on there?
Do you want me to,
I'm going to go for it. Okay.
oh, you'll move them?
I'll do it. Well, no, if you can move them for me. Okay, so the first slide, next slide. Community scholarships, just for Board of Trustees, we have several community scholarships. They come from our business and our community organizations. They come from our church-based organizations, in memoriam, and campus-based scholarships. Additionally, we have the Weslaco Scholarship Foundation, which is separate. It's a 501c3 organization that grants scholarships to our graduates. Next page. When we consider all the scholarships that our students can earn, we had a total amount of $261,125 for Weslaco High School, $148,500 for Weslaco East High School, for a total of $409,625. Of that amount for Weslaco High School, we had 252 students who were awarded scholarships. In Weslaco East, we had 233 students that were awarded scholarships, for a total of 485. That's about, the 45 is about 48% of the graduating class was awarded a scholarship. That is an important point to note. We're almost half of our students get scholarships. Campus-based scholarships. So just, let's look at the amounts on that. For Weslaco High School, $34,500 was generated. For Weslaco East, and provided the kids, $27,850 for a total of $62,350. Weslaco High School, 72 students earned a campus-based scholarship. At Weslaco East, 47 students earned a campus-based scholarship. To focus on a little bit on the campus-based scholarships, a couple of points. Our campuses form their own committees and their selection criteria. District administration, board of trustees, you do not participate, you do not select, or you give feedback to the campuses about the committees, who's on the committee, or the selection criteria. Our next steps for next year, we are forming a district committee to review, to recommend, and perhaps standardize some of the campus-based scholarship procedures. And when I talk about procedures, some of the things that the committee will be looking at is fundraising, selection criteria for recipients, that includes a scoring rubric, the standard application process, possibly something that's online to make it easy for our students and our families, and to include an online selection process, and possibly an anonymous application process. So those are some of the things the committees are going to look at, the committee is going to look at. They'll also look at the composition of the campus committees, maybe who should be on it, should it be a principal, a counselor, who should be on the committees, and can we standardize the way that we inform not only our students but our parents about the scholarships and the process. On the next slide, you'll see the district committee. It's going to be led by Ms. Norma Brewer. She's going to be the facilitator. Ms. Peterson will have, who is our Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction, will have a role. We're going to have at least a parent, one from elementary, one from middle, and one from high school. We'll have counselors and principals, one from each level, elementary, middle, and high school. We'll have some teachers. Our bilingual director, Elias Trevino, will serve on the committee. Our compliance auditor, who is familiar with fundraising procedures, the do's and don'ts, will serve on the committee. A program analyst for technology support will serve on the committee. The student support services director, who is our facilitator, Mrs. Brewer, and the assistant superintendent for curriculum instruction, Mrs. Sue Peterson. Committee timelines, this has been in the work. Ms. Brewer has done a great job in starting to form this. Their first meeting is August the 4th, 2017. October, November, the plan is for them to go to our district advisory committee that consists of 2/3 teachers, all our principals, our department heads play a part in that, to just get some feedback, to vet what they're thinking. Then, also between October and November, we have principals meetings, we have counselors meetings. We'll share what they're thinking, get some feedback, and then standardize, if we're going to standardize, come back with the final procedures in December with ample time before we start the scholarship process. So that just, in addition to that, we have the Weslaco Scholarship Foundation. I've already mentioned it's separate from Weslaco ISD. It does have a board of directors that meets an average of 8 times a year. It's supported by our employees through payroll deduction and through various community sponsors. This Scholarship Foundation provides scholarships to the top automatic 15% of the graduating class, and students must show proof of post-secondary enrollment to get their scholarship check. Next slide. The next slide gives you where we've been with the Weslaco Scholarship Foundation, where it's been. This year, the Scholarship Foundation awarded $700 to the top 15% for a total of $120,000. There were 67 recipients from Weslaco East High School, 88 from Weslaco High School, and 17 from South Palm Gardens High School. The goal, and I heard this from Mrs. Peterson and the team when we met just yesterday, is to reach a point where we can give the top 15% $1,000 from the Weslaco Scholarship Foundation. So that pretty much gives the, in short form, all the scholarships that we offer our seniors.
One of your comments, Doctor, that you made is that the board has nothing to do with, or is not involved in any selection or recommendation whatsoever on the scholarship recipients, and I want to make sure that everybody understands that. There's been some concerns raised, and that's why we asked, or I asked Dr. Canales to give us a presentation and what plans she's planning on taking, going forward. And that this is a great start, Doctor. And going forward, I feel that the committee will get the input from all the people that are involved in the actual process, and make it a more unified and more thorough process of making sure that no kids left behind and overlooked. And I salute you for taking the initiative and making this more transparent and equal to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a team effort. There's been a lot of people involved.
Is that it for your
That is it for the
for
superintendent's
superintendent
report.
report? Thank you. Item number 8, consent agenda. I'll start on my left, Dr. Rodriguez. Dr.
None. None.
Isidoro?
None.
Oscar?
No, sir.
Andrew?
None.
Patrick, anything?
None.
And I have nothing to post, so I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve. Second.
Okay, I have a motion to approve by Patrick Kennedy and a second by Dr. Rodriguez. Any comments, discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Item 11, discussion items.
Item 9, right?
Pardon? 9, excuse me. I read it backwards. Item 9, discussion items. A, first reading update 108. B, first reading policy FFA, local student welfare, wellness and health services. And C, interim financial report for the 10 months ended June 30th, 2017. Dr. Canales.
Okay, for the first reading of update 108, there's no action required for this one. It's a first reading. This one contains 7 local policies, 4 to be replaced, 1 added, and 2 deleted. 31 legal policies, which by law we need to have 28 replaced, 1 added, 2 deleted, and 4 exhibits, 3 of them to be deleted and 1 to be replaced. You have received the policy update 108. If you have any questions, staff is here to answer them. If not, there is no action that's required right now.
I have no questions myself. Does any other board member? No. Okay. Move on to item B, Doctor.
Item B is for the first reading of a revision to policy FFA local, which has to do with student welfare, wellness, and health services. And for that one, we have Mr. Sergio Garcia, and I believe we have Mrs. Dora Pena as well. And again, this one, no action is required for the first reading. There are some changes that are needed coming from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and that's what this policy addresses. Oh, and Ms. Erica.
Okay, I apologize for that. Thank you, Dr. Canales, members of the board, Mr. President. Yes, we are bringing forth this policy. Again, as Dr. Canales mentioned, there's no action required, just to inform you on the changes of this policy for the wellness and health services. Basically, the changes or modifications that were made to the policy were methods for measuring the implementation of the wellness goals, and as well the manner communicating to the public applicable information about the district's wellness and policy plan. And I've been meeting with the ladies, to discuss the changes and how we measure the implementation of the wellness goals. Ms. Dora Pena, if you have any questions for her, she did review the measuring tool that she uses, and it's pretty well thought of. And if you have any questions for that as well, the communicating to the public on the wellness policy and plan, she also stated to me that is found in our district website. So the public is welcome to come, to look at it, and it's very, very thorough. So I appreciate what the ladies have done. Ms. Pena, anything you want to say? Anything that you'd like to add, Ms. Garcia?
When you say measuring, what are you referring to? Just a short?
Good evening. The local wellness policy requires that we meet certain guidelines, and one of them includes like the nutritional standards for the food we serve the children, both during lunch periods and outside of the lunch program. And we have to meet guidelines regarding providing nutrition education, nutrition promotion, also how we relay what we're doing to the parents, and what this policy is now requiring, that we notify the parents how we are meeting the wellness needs of the students.
Okay.
Okay, so if you look in the Food Service Department website. You will find a link there for the wellness policy, and you will find a copy of the actual wellness policy that you are approving, along with the evaluation tool that the principals will need to be completing every year. They've added a new component to this, and that requires that the principals evaluate the policy of how it's implemented at every campus. So we started this last year with the schools that were audited, but this year, every school, a principal will be evaluating their wellness policy at each campus.
Okay, so they're
Any
controlling calories and all that stuff, or just nutritional
Calories,
value?
vitamins, minerals.
Everything?
No. Well, we have to meet all the federal nutritional standards for our meals.
Okay.
But the principals have been having to follow stricter guidelines in the foods that they sell to the students outside of the meal program. And they've been doing a good job. One of the new additions is that they're not going to be able to do any marketing of any foods that do not meet the nutritional guidelines. So if they're selling candies, they're not going to be able to market that, put signs up that we're selling candy bars or Krispy Kreme donuts. They can't be advertising that with posters and what have you. So
Okay.
that's a new addition to this policy.
Okay,
And again, there's no action required. This is a first reading.
first reading. Thank you. Item C, interim financial report for the 10-month ended June 30th, 2017.
Okay, this one is just that you acknowledge the interim financial reports for the 10 months, and no action is required, and we have Mr. Sanchez here.
Yes. Dr.
Guides for this
Canales,
one.
the Lopez members of the board. For the 10 months ended June 30, 2017, in the general fund, we have collected in the local revenues 101%. We have budgeted $25 million, rounded. We have collected $25,333 already. A lot of that has to do with the taxes. We already collected through May almost 93%. So through June, we're probably close to 94, and we'll be collecting more. On the state sources, we have collected 107.3 million out of 129 million, which represents 83%. And the federal revenues, out of 15.1 million, we have collected 13.2, which represents 87%. Overall, in the revenues, we have collected 86.17%. On expenditures of the amended budget of 174 million for all functions, we have spent 131.7 million spent and encumber, meaning issuing purchase orders, which represents 75.5%. So we're doing good through June 30. All the functions are doing well through June 30 and should continue through the end of the year. The ones that are closed, like the function 95, we're at 91.8%. We pretty much spent everything we needed to spend there. On 71 debt service, that's the payment of the maintenance tax notes. We have already spent 98.7%. We have a little bit of interest to be paid on August 15, but we have enough money in the budget to cover it. All the other functions are going well. Any questions?
Andres,
Yes, sir.
on 34, transportation.
Yes,
We budgeted 6.3, we're at 4.8.
yes.
I was looking at earlier in the workshop, why do you cut the budget kind of by 600,000 más o menos?
Several years ago, when the cost of gas was going up, one of the years we budgeted an extra amount
Okay,
for that. And then as the gas prices started going down, we never adjusted the budget, we left it high.
okay.
That's how we're showing a big difference right now.
Well, just make sure, just with all the athletic competitions and everything else that our students go to, I just want to make sure that we're not under budgeting transportation, that they have enough funds to take our kids all over the place. I know our
Yes.
Suburbans are always out. Just please make sure
Yes, sir.
that
We
we're
will.
not shooting it too low there.
Not a problem.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
The bottom of the report, you have an estimated fund balance at August the 31st of $36 million.
Yes, sir.
What makes that up?
That is fund balance. Right now, we have $17 million that we don't touch.
Right.
We have some of the money in the fund balance for facilities that is still there that we haven't used. We haven't transferred to the construction fund or anywhere else. We have some of the money there. We also have funds that we haven't spent in the food service department, which is money that we cannot touch for facilities or anything else. State comp, CTE, vocational. Those are the heaviest funds that we have. And usually have money that's spent at the end of the year, so the money has to stay there. And we'll divide it at the end of the year. We'll separate what goes in each fund. We'll let you know which is the 199 that was available for. The one I was talking about, a surplus of 3 or 4 million at the end of the year, is basically on the 19 fund.
Yeah. Last year you had, how much did you have left over? Like 8 million?
At the very end, yes,
What's it looking like for this year?
4 million. Remember, we transfer money to cover the insurance, and we've been doing. We did a lot of transfers during the year out of the fund balance for facilities to different things on the budget. So this year we put more money in certain functions to cover those extra things that come up. In the summer, for maintenance, for example, we hire additional employees, and then there's a lot of repairs that need to get done, and the budget didn't have enough money, so we provided money through budget amendment. So this time we put the money up front, so we won't have those needs in the future.
Okay. Any other questions, comments?
Looks like you're on task.
Okay.
2 months to go.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you.
Item number 10, discussion and possible action items. Item A, discussion and possible action for the board to consider approval of an extension of the award for orientation and mobility specialist, O&M specialist, services to provide special education services for students with disabilities, RFP number 16-08-51. Dr. Canales.
It's our recommendation that the Board of Trustees approve to extend the award to Ruby L. Coronado, Certified Orientation Mobility Specialist, to provide O&M specialist services to identified students who have been determined to need the service for next school year. We're looking at about 8 students. This current year, we spend $16,000. The estimate for next year is around $20,000, and the cost for service per hour is $80. So we have Mr. Neil Garza, I did see him earlier, here, our Special Education Director, to answer any questions you may have.
That's your recommendation.
Yes, sir.
I move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Dr. Rivera and a second by Isidoro to approve the recommendation by administration to go with Ruby, what was the name?
Coronado.
Ruby Coronado on item number 16-08-51. Any discussion? You happy with the service and?
Yes, sir, we have been.
Okay. No complaints, no?
No, she was a former employee of ours and did a wonderful job for us.
Perfect, thank you. Any other comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Item B, discussion and possible action for the board to consider approval of proposal for services for alternative education program, RFP 17-07-54. Dr. Canales.
Board of Trustees, in light of new information received today that Mr. Garcia, our Assistant Superintendent of Administration, is going to be following up, we're recommending that we take no action on this one tonight.
Okay.
If you have any questions, we can answer those.
It's a non-action item, so do we need to do anything special with that item? No. Okay. Moving on to item C, discussion and possible action for the board to consider approval of the proposal award for group dental insurance. Dr. Canales.
It is our recommendation, after consultation with SWBC and Bruce Massey's in the audience, and we have Mr. De La Rosa, that you approve the proposal from Lincoln Financial Group to provide group dental insurance benefits for Weslaco ISD's employee benefit plan. If you'll notice on the chart, this plan offers a lower cost next year for both the low plan, mid plan, and high plan. when you compare it to our current costs. 8 proposals were evaluated. SWBC asked for best and final offer for the top 4, and used a matrix for the ranking, and recommends Lincoln Financial Group.
I move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, on the dental, we have a motion to approve Lincoln Financial. We have a motion by Andrew and a second by Oscar. Any discussion?
I do have a question about it. So the cost will be lower, but what about the benefits? Will the benefits stay relatively the same?
Mr. Massey or Mr. Rosa?
Mr. Kennedy, that was one of the things that we looked at, was to make sure that they mirrored the benefits. And so in all the plans, other than the dual option, they mirrored the employees' benefits.
That we currently have right now?
That you currently have right now. And the plan design. And the network is large enough that, looking at all the GOs, that it doesn't hurt the people at all.
Mr. Massey?
Yes.
When it says 74,000 in savings to the employee,
I'm sorry?
part of your chart says it's 74,714 savings to the employee, 30,000 to the district, for a total of 104. You're pretty comfortable with that?
Yes, sir.
And we're matching?
We're matching, and we're
okay.
looking at the rate that's being paid.
Okay.
And looking at the reduction, and just multiplying it by the number of people that are enrolled in the tiers.
Mike, you're okay, right?
How many employees do you have in this plan?
It's
How many employees?
2,300, sir, more or less.
And the district pays the employee?
The district pays the employee-only portion, yes, sir, across the board.
So that's the 30,000, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So when the employee opts up to go for more benefits,
In previous years, the contribution has always been $10.40. This year, for the base plan, employee only, it's $9.31. So we'll see $1.09 savings, more or less, per employee per month.
And they'll still be able to get good coverage of the different dentists down here in the valley?
The benefits are mirrored, yes, sir.
Is there
Current
benefits mirror, are any of them better?
Well, basically, we stipulate what we want, how, what services we want covered at what percentage, what deductibles and copays, and we put those out as part of the RFP, and it stipulates that whoever proposes has to match those benefits or make them better.
Okay, and they at least meet?
Yes.
And the size of the network comparable?
Yes, sir, very large. When you look at the network, we can't see where it would hurt anybody in the system.
Any further comments? Okay, we have a motion to approve by Andrew and Oscar. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Item D, discussion and possible action for the board to consider selection of servicing agent for the group dental insurance RFP 17-07-52. Dr. Canales.
Okay. Board of Trustees, the selection of the servicing agent is at your discretion.
I'll make a motion to go with SIG, since the ones who did they did the proposal for Lincoln.
Second.
Mr. Massey?
We have a motion by Oscar and a second by Andrew Gonzalez to go with, who was that, Oscar?
SIG? This, I think on the Lincoln, I read here that SIG is the one who brought in that proposal for the dental. Is that correct? Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Salazar Insurance Group.
Yes, sir.
Any comments? Questions, discussion?
Don't we have agents already? Who are the agents?
The agents that are attached to the current policy, the board awarded it and divided it between Salazar Insurance Group, Tamez Financial Services, and Gallagher Benefits. That's what we currently have.
What was the reason for that? Is that just,
It's the board's discretion, so administration doesn't make recommendations as far as, servicing agents, so.
And how many can we select on this particular?
It's at your discretion, Mr. Nieto. Y'all can divvy it up however you like.
Okay.
So right now, the agents you have, as you said, was Tamez?
Yes, sir.
Currently, it's Tamez Financial Services, Salazar Insurance Group, and Gallagher Benefits.
The ones
Currently.
you're using right now?
The ones we're using right now, yes, sir.
The motion is to go with Salazar Insurance Group. So is there any further discussion?
is there, going from 3 agents to 1, or is there any, you foresee any problems with that?
Yeah, and the only reason I made this motion is because, they brought the proposal to the table, and for that reason, named them as the agent.
Can we go with 2 agents?
Well, right now, we have to
Okay.
to vote on the one, and then add, and if that one doesn't pass, then we can go somewhere else.
Would you prefer a second agent, Mr. Nieto?
Yes, if possible.
I would too.
Okay, well, we have the motion right now for Salazar Insurance only, so we'll take a vote on that one. All those in favor of having Salazar Insurance be the sole agent on the dental insurance, signify by saying aye.
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 Could you show your hands, please? Oscar, Andrew. All those opposed?
Against?
Okay, 3, 4. Okay, it doesn't pass. We have 4 against and 2 for.
Okay, I'll make another motion to have 2 agents on this product here, Salazar Insurance and Tamez Financial.
A second of that.
Okay, I have a second motion to move on. The motion is for the agents on the dental insurance to be Salazar Insurance and Tamez. The motion was made by Oscar and second by Isidoro. Any discussion? All those,
Where is, you got Jeff Everett. What is Jeff right now? Is the agent for what?
The health.
The health?
They're listed as individuals to conduct enrollment services for the health plan this coming year. Yes, sir. It was Mr. Everett and
Mr.
Tamez Financial
Tamez?
Group. Yes, sir.
Mr. Salazar, you're in the audience. Do you have offices here in Weslaco, sir? And the reason I ask, the only reason I ask you is for walk-ins for our employees. Do you have, or where are your offices?
I am renting an office on Moreland.
You do have an office here?
Yes.
Okay.
The reason that we were able to secure this bid because of our relationship with Lincoln Financial, and we have Lincoln Financial in several groups throughout the valley. We're one of the largest brokers in the valley, and we were able to negotiate these rates, and Lincoln Financial chose SIG to get the only proposal, and that's why we were able to negotiate these. The other, Carlos Tamez, Jeff Everett, they all asked for a bid from Lincoln Financial, but they refused. Lincoln Financial refused to give them a bid. They only gave it to SIG because of our relationship with them. And we're already in the district. We enroll for the district. We are here. We've been here for many years. We have several school districts throughout the valley. If you call the administrations in any of those districts, including Weslaco ISD, I'm very confident that they're going to say that SIG is very, 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 does very well in their enrollment and their customer service, including Weslaco ISD.
Okay. Yeah, I know that you're here already, so, and And then I have heard no complaints on your work.
Thank you, sir.
So, any further comments, questions? Okay, so the motion is to go with Salazar and Tamez Insurance on agent for dental insurance. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, let's show some hands, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. All those opposed?
Me.
And I'll vote against it too. So it's 5, and the motion carries for Salazar Insurance Group and Tamez to be the agents of record for the dental insurance. Item E, discussion and possible action for the board to consider approval of proposal award for pharmacy benefit management, PBM services for the district self-funded employee benefit program, RFP 17-07-53. Dr. Canales.
Board of Trustees, our recommendation is that you approve the proposal for PBM from American Healthcare to provide services for the district's self-funded medical benefit plan effective September 1st, 2017 through August 31st, 2018. SWBC has determined that the American Healthcare proposal is the most advantageous proposal to the district in terms of administrative fees, average wholesale price discounts, and transparency. And we have Mr. De La Rosa and Mr. Massey here to answer any questions you may have.
I've got some questions, Mike. The pharmacy benefits part of the insurance is approximately $3.5, $4, $5 million?
$3 million, yes, sir.
How transparent is this company coming in? Are they gonna work well with Blue Cross Blue Shield moving forward? And is there any agents going to be on this? I guess I'm already asking like 3 questions all at once, right?
As far as transparency, there are several factors that we evaluate when we look at pharmacy benefit managers, and of course, Mr. Macy can jump in at any time, but you look at basically an average wholesale price similar to, I guess you can say, network discounts, if you will. You look for administrative fees, what they charge, and you also look for, what type of formulary lists they use, which is the difference between brand name drugs. Brand name drugs, which are been around for a while and have been in the market for a while, versus non-formulary, which is your more expensive drugs. So when you take those factors into consideration, you look at their transparency factors, making sure that there's no spread costs being initiated. And then finally, so there's certain language in their proposal that indicates how transparent they are. Additionally, this company is at another district here in the valley, and they have provided very positive reference.
What district is that?
McAllen ISD.
They're in McAllen?
Yes, sir. So like I said, SWBC did the evaluations, I double-checked theirs, and I'm comfortable with their recommendation.
Okay. As far as agents or commissions, will there be any commissions
There
paid?
should not be any commissions or spread costs, if you will. We've had issues with PBMs in prior years, maybe the last 5.
That is why I want somebody to guarantee to me that there will be no commissions paid on this. And I don't know if you can do that or if our consultant's gonna do that. But I want to guarantee that there will be no commissions, no money going somewhere where we don't know. I'm just very concerned on that.
President Lopez, looking through and doing our analysis, this particular company appears to be extremely transparent. We can't find any commission, we can't find any money being held back to pay anyone through this process, and we've been assured that there's no agent involved.
Have you had experience with this company in the past?
I have not this particular company, but they do, the references that we've gotten, that we called on, it was very positive feedback. And when we talked to Mr. Andy over at McAllen, they've actually had some significant savings since they've had them in there.
Now, did this company just sign on to another district, neighboring district here in the area?
I know they're in McAllen, and I've heard that they've been approved in another district that's close by, yeah.
And Donna?
Dana.
Okay. I really want a guarantee or somebody to check this out. And now, I know that this is before the board today. And are we in a dire need to approve this today?
Yes, sir.
When does it renew, or when does the current coverage expire?
Well, it'll be effective September 1st.
September 1st?
Yes. So there needs to be time to implement the company, to review contracts, to thoroughly analyze contracts, to address your concerns, and there are concerns, my concerns as well.
What are your concerns?
The transparency issue, making sure there's no spread costs involved. Spread is defined as what's the difference between what the pharmacy is reimbursed for a particular drug versus what they report to the district as what they paid for it. And so there's language that we look for in the contract that might adhere to that. So we have to do our due diligence.
Mr. Massey, are you confident that this company will do a good job?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay.
I'll make the motion to go ahead and approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Oscar and a second by Andrew to approve the pharmacy benefit program, management program, to, as recommended by administration. Any discussion?
Yeah, Mr. Massey, Mike, again, one last time. I'm going based on y'all's recommendation saying that they are transparent, and that no one is getting a commission, and I know you guys will do your due diligence to look at all the language to make sure that you're gonna protect the district.
Mr. Gonzalez, I would say to you that we, in our opinion, in our professional opinion, with all analysis that we did, that they are transparent, cannot find any fees or commission being paid.
Thank you.
Going forward, Mike, in the past, and I know this wasn't your fault, you tried to save some money for the district, and the PBM that we hired did not work out for us. You remember that one?
That was about 3 or 4 years ago.
About 3 years ago. And I'm not trying to make you feel bad or anything. My question is, the contract for this company, that we enter with this company, will it be for a year long, or are we able to get out of the contract if you're not happy?
The last PBM that we had issues with, like I said, about 3 or 4 years ago, we canceled. We gave them 30 days notice, or 30 or 60 days notice that we're out. But it does take. I wouldn't recommend that unless the circumstances will require it, because of course, if you change companies in the middle of a plan year, you could see some disruption with employees, not being able to get their medication. But and all the times I've been, doing this, I've only seen that issue happen once, and that was here. And we identified problems, we confronted them. The answers that they gave us were not satisfactory, and I believe you're on the board, Mr. Lopez, when we terminated them. So since then, there's language that we look for in the contracts. There's evaluations that we do to make sure that what we're paying for drugs is actually the cost of the drugs.
Right. And so my question to you is, will we be able to get out of this contract if Mr. Massey comes forward to us and says they're not doing us right?
Absolutely. And that's what we look at when it's approved. We evaluate the contract, and that's, we work with Mr. Pettis on that and look for termination provisions. Usually it's 30 to 60 days notice, because of course we can't just fire somebody and not have somebody else in place.
Right.
We have to take our time to make sure that there's another vendor to come in if in fact we see there's some behavior that's not to the advantage of the district.
How many companies applied for this? 12 companies?
12.
Okay, did you have sufficient time? Do you feel you had sufficient time to review all the information needed?
President Lopez, I pulled 4 people in on the team to make sure that we got it done. So, yes, to answer your question, yes.
Okay. Well, I want to make sure, Mr. Massey, moving forward, that you keep a close eye, not only on this PBM, but on our health insurance. We hired you guys on because you're the big company that, with the reputation, to keep an eye on things for us here at the district. And if you see anything or feel anything that's out of the ordinary, we want to know sooner than later.
Okay, sure.
All right. Okay, so, any further comments?
Nope.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve by Oscar and Andrew. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no.
No.
And no for me too. Motion carries. Item F, discussion and possible action for the board to consider approval to extend the contract with an audit firm Noel Garza CPA PC for one additional term to conduct an independent fiscal and compliance audit of the district for the fiscal year ending August 31st, 2017, with the option to extend the contract for additional one-year term. RFQ number 16-07-40. Dr. Canales.
Administration recommends that the Board of Trustees approve to extend the contract with the independent auditing firm of Noel Garza, CPA, PC, for one additional term to conduct the independent fiscal and compliance audit of the district for the fiscal year ending August 31st, 2017, with the option to extend the award one additional year. The cost is the same, like last year. We're asking for the approval of 1 year to enter a second year.
So move.
Second.
What does the administration think of the,
Let me finish with we have a motion by Isidoro and a second by Andrew to continue with the firm Noel Garza CPAs. Any discussion?
yes, what does the administration think of their work product? Are we happy with it?
Yes, yes, sir. They do a good job. They make reports when they need, they had findings, something we need to improve on, they make the recommendation. And we address it.
And I've engaged in one meeting. They take the time to answer the questions, to sit down with us, on the recommendations, more specificity if we need it.
I think, was it here earlier in the year for a presentation,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes.
I remember, yeah.
Sounds like they do quality work then, and I'll get on board.
Good quality work.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? There being none, we have a motion by Isidoro and a second by Andrew to approve administration recommendation to go with Noel Garza CPAs for the compliance audit of district fiscal year ending August 31st, 2017, with the option to extend the contract for one additional one-year term. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Item G, discussion and possible action for the board to approve the proposal for consultants for special education services, occupational, physical, and interpreting services, RFP number 17-06-44. Dr. Canales.
Board of Trustees, administration recommends approval of the proposals for consultants to provide special education services for students with disabilities as follows. Occupational therapy awarded to P&G School Therapy Service from Alamo, Texas. Physical therapy award to ABC Therapy from Edinburgh, Texas. And interpreting services, a sign language company from McAllen, Texas. All awards are subject to contract review by legal counsel. 26 proposals were sent, 21 submitted. We had 2 phases to this one. We had a small committee consisting of 3 central office. We extended the committee to include a principal, 2 principals, special education, 3 special education teachers. And these were ranked, and the committee has made its recommendation. And Mr. Neil Garza is here to answer any questions.
Are you okay, Mr. Garcia, with all 3?
Have you worked with them before?
I have not.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Dr. Rivera and a second by Patrick Kennedy to approve recommendations by administration as presented by superintendent for the consultants for special education service, occupational, physical, and interpreting services, RFP 17-06-44. Any discussion?
No, you haven't worked with any of them?
The ones we're recommending, there was one individual I probably worked with about 15 years ago in a previous district. Other than that, no, Mr. Gonzalez. We did check the references and not just one, a couple for each one, and they checked out well.
Going in, I know that the person that was here before is not chosen. going in with new companies, and I understand we have to go do so only because we're told so by law, have you checked all the licenses on these on the new firms that are coming in?
They provide a lot of the copies, and even with that, Ms. Lopez, what happens is they hire individuals as they go along, and that's just the reality for every single company. Individuals come and go with respect to the employees that they hire.
Now, if you're not happy, do we have an out on these contracts?
I believe the way the contracts have been written in the past, it allows with an out with a 30-day written notice.
Okay.
The incumbent services that we have now, I think were RGVA Plus.
That's correct.
Is there a reason why we're not renewing? Is there anything with their services?
No, the services were good, and I've never said otherwise. It's just you have a set of criteria, and we're obligated to be as objective as possible and utilize that criteria.
Okay. You just feel that another service could offer better service based on the criteria?
Well, again, you go by the criteria, you advertise the criteria, and it's not like you're in the middle of it and say, oh, let's change this criteria. It is what it is, and those are the obligations at that point.
Okay.
I just want to make sure, Neil, going forward, that our students are well cared for, and that I know we have to do this and by law. However, I do want to make sure that our students are well, they have the best services, and if not, then we change.
I understand those concerns, and I agree.
Okay, thank you, Neil. Okay, so we have a motion by Dr. Rivera and a second by Patrick to approve as presented by administration. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Item H, discussion and possible action for the board to consider approval of the annual review of the district's investment policy. Dr. Canales.
Our recommendation is that the Board of Trustees approve the annual review and the district's investment policy as presented, and leading the presentation is Mr. Andres Sanchez.
Andres, you're okay?
Yes, sir.
Move to approve?
Second.
Who did that? Andrew. Okay, we have a motion by Dr. Rivera and a second by Andrew to approve the annual review for the district's investment policy. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Thank you, Andres. Good job. Item I, discussion and possible action for the board to consider approval to set up a meeting date for a public hearing on the proposed budget and proposed tax rate for fiscal year 2017-2018. Dr. Canales.
Okay, for this one too, we have Mr. Andres Sanchez.
You're okay on this date?
August 21st?
You ready? You'll be ready? Okay. Move to approve?
Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second by Dr. Rivera and a second by Isidoro on the date for the public hearing for proposed budget and proposed tax rate for fiscal year 2017-18. Any discussion?
I think the only thing I'd like to say is it's supposed to be on August 21st at 5:30. Is that the proposed date?
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted that on the record so the public could see.
Okay, the date is on August the 21st for the public hearing. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Item J, discussion and possible action for the board to consider approval of a contract with Shanine Engineering LLC to assist the district with the procurement and oversight of the construction of a new digital scoreboard for Babilaki Stadium. Dr. Canales.
Board of Trustees, on June 19, 2017, you approved to hire Shanine Engineering LLC for this project. However, the agenda title did not contain specific language for approval of the contract. Therefore, we recommend that the board approve the contract with Shanine Engineering LLC to assist the district with the procurement and oversight of the construction of the new digital scoreboard for Babilaki Stadium.
Who's making the recommendation?
The superintendent, the administration.
Okay. You're all okay?
Yes. Attorney Calderita.
Attorney, yeah, that was my next question. Attorney.
So move.
Yes?
Okay, so move.
Second. We have a motion by Isidoro and a second by Dr. Rodriguez to approve a contract with Shanine Engineering to assist the district with the procurement and oversight of the construction of a new digital scoreboard for Babilaki Stadium. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Item K, discussion and possible action for the board to Consider approval to hire Trinity MEP Engineering to design the plans and specifications and oversee the construction of the HVAC upgrades for Silva Elementary School, Gonzalez Elementary School, and the Calvillo Kate Complex. Dr. Canales.
Board of Trustees, it is administration's recommendation that you approve to hire Trinity MEP Engineering to design and oversee the construction of the HVAC upgrades projects for Silva and Gonzalez Elementary Schools and Calvillo CTE Complex.
I'll move to approve.
Second?
Who did- Oscar?
Yes, sir.
Patrick.
And the second was?
Patrick.
Patrick?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have a motion by Oscar and a second by Patrick to approve the hiring of Trinity MEP Engineering to design the plans and specifications, oversee the construction of HVAC upgrades for Silva Elementary School, Gonzalez Elementary School, and Calvillo Kate Complex. Discussion. I have a question or two. Do we have the money already?
Yes, sir.
It's in the,
It's one of the projects the board approved
okay.
and the
So,
facilities.
How much do we have, or what's the?
We had approved $3 million for HVAC projects.
$3 million.
This is just three buildings, three campuses that we're looking at right now.
Okay.
But we're still working on the other projects.
And which one are the three campuses?
Silva, Gonzalez, and Calvillo City Complex.
Okay.
And our staff is recommending the upgrades, or?
Well, we need them. The HVAC units we have since the building was done, they're already 15 years old. So we had hired the Trinity MEP Engineering to evaluate them, and they gave us a recommendation.
Okay.
Mr. Garza can give you more details.
Good evening, Mr. Lopez, Dr. Canales, members of the board. We did hire Trinity MEP to assess the design of the current system. We had concerns because during the energy conservation project, the engineers from Integral brought up some concerns out there with outside air intake, or the amounts of outside air. And so Trinity MEP confirmed, and so they're recommending an option based on that assessment for the design. And yes, those systems are back from 2002 or so.
Okay. So we have motion by Oscar and a second by Patrick to approve it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Item L, discussion and possible action for the board to, one, rank the proposals received for the fencing projects at the following schools: Silva Elementary, Gonzalez Elementary, Margot Elementary, North Bridge Elementary, Kate Calvillo Complex, and the Aquatic Center, and Kate Early College High School. And number two, approve a vendor for the project as ranked by the board. Or three, reject all proposals, CSP 17-06-50. Dr. Canales.
Board of Trustees, on June 13th, 2017, during the regular school board meeting, you voted to table this item with the intention of receiving additional information about the vendors. There were 4 proposals received for the fencing project at that time. However, after that board meeting, we were notified by one of the 4 vendors, G&G Contractors, that due to unforeseen events, they were formally withdrawing their proposal. So our administration is recommending that the Board of Trustees consider, 1, to either rank the proposals received, and if so, approve a vendor for the fencing project, or 2, reject all proposals received. It is the administration's recommendation for this project, if it's awarded based on the experience we had, well, I guess, let me go back to that. So the recommendations to rank the proposals received, approve a vendor for the fencing project, or reject all proposals received. In these proposals, the project costs, there was a great discrepancies in the cost. We have another one that has withdrawn from it. So
who's the lowest bidder on this one?
What's your recommendation on this, Doc?
we've talked about both options, either to rank and go forward, or to go out possibly to reject and go out for a rebid, perhaps with some additional criteria.
Was G&G the one that wouldn't tell us where the steel was gonna come from?
Yes.
Andres, can you
Now they
please?
pulled out?
Yeah, because they low bidded real
Yeah,
low.
their bid was real low.
Yeah. So then who would be the low bidder? Would that be Trigen Construction?
That's right.
And that's,
Yeah, that is the lowest price project, but there's other criteria that the board will have to consider, and I have the worksheets to give you. You want to rank them. so you can put the points in all the forms and rank them.
When we discussed the last time, I know when I was talking to members of the administration, I think there was a company that had problems with, they would do the project willy-nilly. They would start here and then take a break and start over here. Is this that company? Trigen?
They did several projects. They started on, I believe, 2 campuses and then 3 campuses another time. They were working all of them. And we did have some problems. They came back and fixed them. It took a longer while to address them.
But overall, what was their quality of work when they were
I
finished?
think Joe back there would have some more information. Come on up, Joe. Mr. Kennedy is asking about the quality on the,
Yes, good evening. The quality of the fencing, Four Seasons had better quality than Trigen did this past summer. So,
In what sense?
in the welding, the way they installed the panels, the spacing of the bars were evenly matched with Four Seasons. We had a little trouble with Trigen not giving us a proper spacing between each panel.
Mr. Kennedy,
The leveling.
in some cases, some of our welders had to go back and correct some of the mistakes that they had made as well.
Okay. Well, why, okay, well, why, what are the reasons that the administration is recommending Trigen then?
No, we're not recommending
they're
Trigen.
not.
We're just saying, the recommendation at the bottom of the page.
But they
says-
are, it says the administrator's recommendation for this project award, that based on the experience we have with Trigen, that we rank Trigen Construction as number 1.
No, that if the board were to rank Trigen as number 1, that you have to go through the points, and Trigen has the highest points. And you were to award, and that you put a condition that they only do one school first. We go to the school, they finish it, administration evaluates it, the board evaluates it, and we're happy with it, they can continue with the other schools at that time. And we'll pay them when they finish the project, instead of doing progress payments, to avoid the problem we had in the past.
Okay, I see. So it's-
on this item, guys, I feel that, you know, we've already tabled it once and then gone back and worked on it. Given the fact that it's about a $500,000 project, and there's hundreds of thousands of dollars in between each bidder, you know, and I feel that, at this point, I think we should table this, throw it out and bring it back, brand new bids, let everybody revisit the plans. I believe that, there's gonna be some new criteria installed on the documents to make sure that the district receives a better product. So, if I can add, I'd rather just throw it all out and start again.
How does the pricing compare to the previous projects?
That's real hard to compare, Doc, with the
Yeah.
increase in materials.
I will have to back to, different square foot, linear footage on the project, so that also affects it.
So we reject the proposals. What's to say that, you know, if, like Mr. Castillo said, he liked Four Seasons because of how they brought it, what's, you know, with the cost of materials, what's to say that it won't go up, that we risk it going up as opposed to maybe doing one school? Again, I know what the concerns were, and I agree with those concerns. But now we're starting to look at costs and the big disparity in the costs between the companies. One brought them already on a pallet, kind of like on a trailer, and they just stacked them up and went chum, 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 and did it on time, and which was great. And their welds are all the same. They were probably done in a warehouse, in a shop. Again, my concern would only be the cost. We have 475 from Four Seasons, who did the last project, and the other one is at 362 from Trigen, who did the second project. Again, I'm okay with whatever the majority of the board wants to do here. I just, referring to your comment about maybe the inflation of materials, that it puts us in a predicament that we may pay more than what is already cost here. So that would be my concern.
I'm not a welder. I'm not very good with my hands when it comes to construction. So but you guys obviously are. You guys are on the ground. What do you think? Are you feel comfortable with these bids?
Joe?
Well, the work we feel comfortable with. I mean, the pricing, again, Andres is the one that's doing the.
The work that we had done, the workmanship, the welding, Trajan did a
Pardon me, Andres. So letter M, the next item is if we decide to go ahead and table it or go through it again.
Yeah, if we reject it, we'll take action on the other.
So really on M, you want to go ahead and have new criteria.
Well, on the other one, we done a couple of items on the criteria so that we can evaluate them better.
So by having letter, item M, and I know we're not there yet.
Right.
That means you're not comfortable with the recommendation with L.
Well,
If
we
you're ready to
have
go
a
ahead and go with an M.
big difference in price and lesser quality of the lower price.
I
than
think
the
I'm gonna go
consumer.
ahead and make the motion. I think Mr. Lopez is right. Let's just table it and then come back with.
Reject them.
Reject
I'm
the bids.
sorry,
You wanna reject
reject
them?
them and then come back and M and approve the new criteria.
Second.
We have a motion by Dr. Rivera and a second by Isidoro Nieto to reject all bids. All those, any further discussion?
Yes, Ivan will be okay? Yes.
Ms. Superintendent,
And
is that what y'all want to do?
that's,
Those you're
Like-
gonna-
Yeah, like you, it's the best product for the price. It's security, it's a fence.
Yep.
So
So you want us to reject?
we're good with
concur
that.
with-
We're good with that, and we have a recommendation for criteria. That's where the board wishes to do, for
Okay.
additional criteria.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries on that. Item M, discussion and possible actions for the board to consider, one, revisiting the criteria and points to be used to rank the proposal to be received for the fencing project at the following schools: Silva Elementary, Gonzalez Elementary, Margo Elementary, North Bridge Elementary, Kate Calvillo Complex, Aquatic Center, and Kate Early College High School. And two, retaining their authority to rank the proposal for degree, delegate their authority to rank their proposals to the administration. CSP number 17-06-50-rebid. Dr. Canales.
In this case, our recommendation, Board of Trustees, is that you consider revising the criteria to rank the proposals to be received for the fencing project for the 7 schools as part of the rebid process, and that you consider whether you want to retain the authority to rank the proposals or whether you want to delegate that authority to rank the proposals to administration.
I see that we want to add 2 extra criteria. One is we want a sample of the wrought iron fences that they're going to build. And the second was experience on building fencing projects for Weslaco ISD as a direct fencing contractor. What does that mean, the second one?
Where are you? Okay,
Oh, on the backup.
I provided an additional page. You should have the handout there, sorry.
So the 2 criteria
Oh, it's different
that
on
we
this
would
page.
like to add
We'll
is
revise the
the
second
wrought
criteria.
iron samples provided and the quality of the goods and/or service, the workmanship, the materials used, the quality of the paint.
Okay, I'm sorry, this one's different than the other page.
That was,
This-
so will help us to evaluate the quality better and assign points for that.
Okay.
Basically, what it is, Patrick, is giving more points to the quality. See, right now, we're heavily based on the cost. And we all know that you get what you pay for. You know, so basically what it's doing is adding some more weight to the quality so that we get a better product than, and not just depending only on the dollars. That's all it is.
And on the bottom of the third page, below the table, the table on the third page shows the breakdown by school, the cost that we anticipate for chain link, the linear feet and the cost, and also the wrought iron. And we'd like to add it to the specification that we'll be able to award all the schools to one vendor or break it down to 2 vendors. That way we can have 3 schools and 4 schools or something like that. That way we can have an award to 2 companies and get the project done faster and evaluate the companies better.
So really on this, you need 2 items. Revise the criteria as presented, and you
Yes.
feel comfortable with that. And then whether you want for us to rank them or for you all to rank them.
Yeah.
So what I'll do, I'll make the motion, revise the criteria, and have administration rank them and not the board.
correct. Second.
We have a motion by Dr. Rivera and a second by Isidro Nieto to revise the criteria and have administration do the ranking, not the board.
Would
Any
we-
further discussion?
We'll be approving the criteria revised already compared to the one we had before?
Okay.
So you'll be approving the revised criteria included?
Correct.
Okay, so
two
the
additional.
revised criteria, do you have a copy so that the rest of the board?
I
can-
left you a copy.
We have it right here.
Anybody has a copy?
Yeah, okay. Is everybody okay with the revised criteria?
I'm fine with it.
Okay, so the motion is to approve the revised criteria and allow administration to rank the bids as they come in. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item N, discussion and possible action for the board to consider approval of the purchase and installation of Cool Play artificial turf system on the football field at Weslaco East High School. Dr. Canales.
The Board of Trustees Administration is recommending that you approve the purchase and installation of Cool Play artificial turf system infill material on the football field at Weslaco East High School from Field Turf USA, Inc., located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Currently, this company is completing and working on the field at Bobby Lackey Stadium. We have some savings from that, and administration is recommending that we use that to go ahead and install the Cool Play at Weslaco East High School's field, which is used by
So
our
moved.
students.
Second.
We have a motion by Isidoro and a second by Patrick to approve the recommendation by administration to install the Cool Play artificial turf system on the football field at Weslaco East High School. Any further discussion?
We're not using any additional monies. We're using savings from the proposed that we had. for
That is
the-
correct.
Yeah, it says here 55, that we're saving 55, and the cost is only 46, so.
Correct.
That's
No.
good.
So we're still walking away with the surplus, and East gets the Cool Play system.
But forget,
Correct.
Correct.
Coach, let me ask you a question, since
Yes,
you're here already at the mic.
Yes, sir.
What, and I know you gave us this information in the past, the difference in temperature on the fields, what is it?
Yes, sir. The difference in temperature, it is estimated that the Cool Play system will give us about a 30 degrees cooler temperature on the field at the hottest time of the day, which is between 2 and 4 o'clock on that time.
And that's
And,
the same thing that the new turf at Lackey
Yes,
is going to have to.
Yes, sir.
Good.
well, Coach Burgett, Mr. Lopez beat me to the punch. I was about to tell you, are you ready for 30-degree cooler turf?
Guys, when our kids lay down that second practice, they got to get up real fast. It gets hot.
Yeah.
So anywhere from 20 to 40 degrees, it will be cooler, and the kids will feel it. It'll be a lot safer for them.
Perfect.
Coach, how fast can we get this, Coach Rojas, for the kids? Because y'all start in August, Coach?
Right. Yes, sir. Right now, I had a meeting with Field Turf this morning. The proposal here in front of us is the critical component of it is that it'll be done at the same time that Bobby Lackey Stadium is being done,
Okay.
so that the group is already here.
Okay.
We're looking
Well,
at possibly starting Wesco East project around July 21st,
Okay, so it's
24th.
before
Oh,
Coach
yes.
starts practice.
So he should be, it's a 5-day project, really fast. He should be on the field without any
Awesome.
problems.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.
Perfect. Good job, man.
Thank you.
Okay, we have the motion by Isidoro and a second by Patrick to approve the installation of turf. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Item 11, closed meeting to discuss A, personnel matters, Texas Government Code 551.074. Item 1, employment of personnel. Item 2, resignations. Item 3, deliberation regarding the appointment, employment evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee, Texas Government Code 551.074 and 551.071. A, superintendent's recommendation for principal at A.N. Tony Rico Elementary School. B, superintendent's recommendation for maintenance director. And then we have a sub-item B, deliberation regarding real estate, Texas Government Code 551.072. Item C, consultation with attorney regarding pending or contemplated litigation, settlement offer, or C, a matter in which the duty of the attorney of the Weslaco Independent School District under the Texas disciplinary rules of professional conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with Chapter 551 of Texas Government Code 551.071. The time is 8:01, and this board is going to close session. The time is 9:05 and we're now back in open session. Let the record reflect that Oscar Caballero left the meeting at 8:30 and Patrick Kennedy left the meeting at 9:04. Okay. Item A, possible action if necessary on items discussed in closed meeting. Number 1, employment of personnel. Dr. Canales.
The Board of Trustees recommend that you approve the employment of personnel as discussed in closed session.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Andrew and a second by Isidoro to approve the recommendation by Superintendent on the employment of personnel. Any discussion? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Item 2, resignations. Dr. Canales.
There is no action on this item.
It's a non-action item.
Is this where Neil Garza is under?
It is,
It is.
that was an addendum. Is he still here?
Is he?
No, he left.
Neil Garza's.
Wish him the best.
For those of you that, Neil Garza is going to be the Executive Director of Human Resources in Hidalgo ISD.
So,
Good luck.
we wish him good luck. Item number 3, a superintendent's recommendation for principal at A.N. Tony Rico Elementary School. Dr. Canales.
Board of Trustees, after committee recommendations and final interviews by me, Ms. Segura, and Ms. Peterson, the recommendation for principal at Tony Rico Elementary School is Jacqueline Padilla. We moved it. I ask that you approve it.
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Andrew and a second by Dr. Rodriguez to approve the superintendent's recommendation of Jackie Padilla for the principal at A.N. Tony Rico Elementary School. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no.
I'm going to abstain.
Dr. Rivera is going to abstain on this vote. That's still 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yes, motion carries. Item number 4 is a non-action item, Doctor?
Item number 4 is a non-action.
Item number 5 is real estate matters, also a non-action item. And item number 6, A, pending contemplated litigation, B, settlement offer, or C, a matter in which the duty of attorney of West Independent School District under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflicts with Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code. Texas Government Code 551.071 is also a non-action item, I believe. Is that correct? Non-action also. The final item is item number 13, adjournment.
So moved.
We are adjourned. The time is 9:08. This meeting is over. Thank you.